What's going on, everybody? This is Living in Arizona Now, and today we have 15 unique things for you to see and do across Arizona. So if you saw our 88 things to do in Arizona, that was a great video, but this is the unique things about Arizona we're going to show you right now. Let's get into it. First up, we're headed up to Jerome. This old mining town has a lot of ghost stories that have been told, so they call it a ghost town, but this old mining outpost is actually considered one of the largest ghost towns in America. While here, you can head over to the Jerome State Historic Park, do a Jerome Ghost Walk, which is a spooky walk through the town, and you learn about all the paranormal history. And you can eat a haunted burger for lunch. Now here we are at The Thing. This unique roadside attraction is on the way to El Paso outside of Tucson on I-10. And it's supposedly a mummified mother and child, possibly of Chinese or Native American descent, who died in the 1880s or early 1900s. The mummified child's age is unknown at this time. The museum itself actually has multiple different exhibits, including conversation about aliens or alien involvement in the history. There's a star exhibit, and here is a look at The Thing. And you can see they also have a tribute to veterans here. So lots going on here on this roadside attraction on the way to the Chiricahuas, really. Now let's talk about the wild horses at the Salt Rivers. These wild horses are considered majestic, enchanting, and really beautiful right here at the lower Salt River. There's believed to be around 300 of these horses out here on 20,000 acres of the Forest Service land, including 12 miles of the lower Salt River. And you can actually check them out by doing some river tubing, paddleboard, or kayaking. I suggest coming out in the early morning or sunset hours. Now here we are at the Wave, located here just on the border with Utah in the north. Located within the Coyote Buttes, within the northern part of the Petrified Canyon near Vermilion Wilderness here in northern Arizona. You do need a permit to actually get out here, but you can see really beautiful waves here in these rocks. And it's believed these U-shaped troughs came from erosion during the Jurassic Age era, and you can see right here in the Navajo sandstone. Really an interesting natural phenomena. I would also like to say, if you don't get the permit to come up here, you can still walk around the Coyote Buttes in certain areas. I even camped out here at some of the campsites, but actually if you wanted to go to that wave right there, you're gonna need the permit. But you can still go up here without the permit. There is dirt roads. And by the way, if you guys love Arizona and you love exploring Arizona with us, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. We really do appreciate all of your support, and we love hearing from you guys in the comments with recommendations for videos where you guys want to see us go next. Next up, here we are at Biosphere 2. So this, when it came out in the 1990s, was state of the art. There was even a movie made about it. I even did a field trip down here when I was in the 7th grade, but really it's still a cool place to check out and explore. The University of Arizona runs it. It's supposed to simulate life on other planets in case humanity ever goes over there, thanks to Elon Musk. This is located north of Tucson in Oracle. Just a really cool town that Oracle is, in case you get a chance to explore the northern side of the Santa Catalinas. Now here we are at the Petrified Forest. So when I went there, I read something that said, this part of Arizona used to be where Costa Rica sits nowadays. So it was a very lush rainforest, kind of marsh area, and that's where the wood comes from. But nowadays, being that it sits up here in Arizona at a high altitude, it's dry and barren. They call this the Painted Desert, but also known as the Petrified Forest. Very interesting trees here that have now turned into stones. While you're up here, you'll see a lot of Native American petroglyphs, hieroglyphs. As you know, Arizona is known for that, with the Navajos, the Hopis, the Anasazis, and many more tribes that actually lived in Arizona. But up here, you'll see them while you're in the park. That's what we love about Arizona, right? It's sparsely populated, but it's got so much history going back many, many moons. Another thing to do is sleep in a wigwam. You could call these teepees, but a wigwam is a little bit different. They have a couple parks or hotels in northern Arizona. This one here is in a town called Holbrook. It's actually nearby the Petrified Forest. You could also hit up Winslow while you're up here. But sleeping inside a wigwam, that's quite unique. But hey, if you can't sleep inside a wigwam, maybe you can sleep inside a teepee. You can research on Google how to do that. Maybe up in the Native American area, you can find someone who's got some teepees available. But if you get a chance, that's very unique. It could be like a camping kind of glamping experience, right? Now we're going to go just north of Sedona. This here is Slide Rock. There's places around the world where you can go and slide on rocks, but out here in Slide Rock in the Oak Creek Canyon area, this is quite unique, and it's one of the most famous areas in the world for sliding on rocks, especially in America. But at times it does get a bit busy here, so try to plan around holidays. In other words, don't come up here on a weekend or a holiday in springtime or in summer because it will be very crowded. Try to come during the week when it's not a holiday. And also around the area of Oak Creek, it's quite refreshing, especially upstream. Now, another thing that I really like doing in Arizona is stargazing. So I've been to over 90 countries in the world, and I would say still to this day, there's only a handful of places that get stars as good as Arizona, Hawaii and Montana being some of those places. But I've never seen stars so amazing like I saw on the north rim of the Grand Canyon. Even the Mogollon Rim gets a lot of stars. So if you get a chance to go camping up on any of those rims, take the opportunity. In fact, down in southern Arizona near the Chiricahuas in a town called Portal, they have some of the best stargazing in the world, they say. So be sure to check out Star Village down there. Now here we are out in northern Arizona again nearby Lake Powell. This here is Antelope Canyon. So Antelope Canyon does require a guide to get out there, so you can't just freelance and hike out there. You've got to get with a tour group and try and get on a list if you can. So this is something you have to plan in advance, but you can see as the sun shines down into the canyon area, the sandstone, very amazing. There's so much to see up in northern Arizona that's unique. Even southern Utah, you can make a whole trip out of exploring that whole region. And in fact, if you wanted to learn more about the things to do in Arizona in general, check our list of 88 things to do in Arizona down below in the comments and in the description. And another thing that's unique to Arizona is hiking around Saguaro National Park, but more importantly, the Sonoran Desert. This desert is unlike most deserts around the world. Lots of cactus, like these saguaro cactuses, but also choyas, staghorns. It's really a unique experience, so if you're someone from out of state, or maybe even someone in Arizona, coming on down here to Tucson and hiking around the Saguaro National Forest really is something that's nice to do, especially in the spring months, probably around April or maybe even into September or October. I would avoid coming down here during the heat of the summertime though. You could also head over to the Sonoran Desert Museum and learn a lot more about the Sonoran Desert, which is something I would recommend doing. Now let's talk about Meteor Crater. So there's not very many places on Earth where asteroids or meteorites have actually collided with Earth. Well, it happened here in Arizona, or at least that's what they say. This big hole that you'll see, it's over a mile in circumference. It's a massive hole. It's privately owned, and you can come out here and get views walking around the top. I don't know if you can hike down there necessarily. I'm sure they'll let you if you're a part of a group, but really an incredible sight to see this big hole in the ground. Now let's talk about Prickly Pear. So people come to Arizona and they try this unique food. Some of them like the Prickly Pear margarita, or they get Prickly Pear candy, but it's a prickly pear that grows on the tip of a cactus. It's a green cactus. Some people in Mexico actually eat this cactus as part of their food, but the prickly pear itself is quite sweet. Some people try to get it off the cactus by themselves with a stick and then they eat it, but then they end up regretting it because it's got these little prickles on it that'll get you. So try to just get it from the store or maybe even from the restaurant if you're trying prickly pear. For the very first time, I would compare it maybe to a dragon fruit as its closest type of fruit. Now here we are at the Canyon de Chelly. This is in the northeastern part of Arizona nearby the Four Corners, and I consider the Canyon de Chelly to be a very unique terrain. There's not too many places like this that you'll find anywhere in the world. I guess maybe I saw something like this in Wadi Rum in Jordan, but really a very unique place here in Canyon de Chelly. You can't go down into the canyon without permission from the tribe, but coming out here exploring, you really get a feeling of being in a sacred place. I think that's what most people say when they come out to Canyon de Chelly. And actually, while you're up here in northeastern Arizona, you can head right over to Monument Valley. Monument Valley is with Utah and Arizona border, so you can get a little bit of both there. Even if you go towards New Mexico, you'll come across places like Shiprock. This is just an absolutely amazing place, A lot of Western movies were filmed out here that you've seen pictures of. And yeah, you come out here to Monument Valley, it's an interesting moonscape, kind of Mars-like desert, that's for sure. And while you're up here, you can drive the 17-mile loop. You can also hike around the Wildcat Trail, visiting John Ford's Point. You could do a guided tour in one of these large Jeep kind of vehicles, these off-road vehicles. That's probably the best way to explore. Maybe even consider doing it on horseback. A lot of people like to rent an RV and explore around this part of Arizona, but coming up here to Monument Valley. Actually, if you plan to explore here, get an RV and stay at some of these RV parks and really chill out under the stars in one of these RVs. You can rent them from some of these companies. You just go online and see where you can get one in your area and then explore Arizona that way. Anyways, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, please consider watching more of our other videos. We did a full Monument Valley video. I'll put a link to that here at the end, as well as the 88 places to visit and things to do in Arizona. See you on the next one.